Welcome back. We're in the second match of this Grand Arena season 28, that is. And I'm playing versus Chaku Bombaza from Inca Patrol. I had a chat with my opponent after the match, and he's originally from Japan and is quite burned out from Grand Arena. Pretty much like me at the moment. It was a very stressful fight, and you'll soon see why. He has very high lifetime banners, around 1.1 million, which is a lot more compared to mine 975-ish thousand legacy lifetime banners, of course. So it was an interesting match, especially given that I didn't really scout my opponent, which I also didn't do last round, because I had a feeling it doesn't really make sense because so many things changed after the last 3 versus 3 season. Of course, you can also check what they used to set in the past, but it might be different now. So I said, I'll wing it. And that's what I did. But before we get into gibberish more, just look at the defenses. My opponent waited for me to make a move, which already gave me a hint that he might be an efficiency player. And then when I looked at the defenses, I had a hunch that I won't see any Galactic Legends on defense, especially because on the top you see Fennec. Then you also see generally bounty hunters, which already might give you an idea. Okay, so he doesn't really plan for going off meta versus a Lord Vader potentially. So I guess he keeps something to take out Lord Vader on offense, which could be Kylo Ren, of course, his Lord Vader, or JMK. So that already gave me an idea what to expect. Other than that, the teams were quite interesting, I'd say. The Dash team, of course, is a little bit of a nuisance because of the Omicron vendor and L3 don't make it easy. Then there's Iden, which was modded for speed and potency, so I could potentially take my Wampa against that. Other than that, the teams were kind of creative, especially with the Echo on the Rex team. Then let's take a look at the South. Here we had teams which were quite, let's say, off meta for the last 3 versus 3 seasons. So Bam, Han, and Chewie is a very solid defensive team. Then the same goes for JKL with Shaq and GK. GK really makes it difficult to take in the Vader against that. Or I think Thrawn or Piet Thrawn Vader used to be the counter against that, or Piet Gideon Vader. And the Shaq was very fast. So essentially it was kind of like a past meta-ish situation I had to deal with here. But of course the most interesting team here might have been the Qui-Gon Jinn team, which I didn't face before on defense. Then we also have the standard Darth Revan team, which still is one of the best non-Galactic Legends defensive and offensive teams in 3 versus 3, I think. And of course the CLS 2PO, however you want to call it, team, which was also very well modded. Full tenacity on 2PO, tenacity speed on CLS, and the only thing I would have done differently compared to my opponent is I would have put a critical avoidance arrow on CLS. He put on protection, but he had crit avoidance on 2PO. But anyway, so very well modded, very great mods as well, better than mine. But so as I said, I started with the match and I wanted to start off with good banners, so I started with Wampa versus Iden. Not much to tell about this, I guess, because the potency wasn't that high on Iden. I was pretty safe. You just wait for them to make their attacks, then you do the first special to get your bonus protection, and then you just ramp stats with the roar. I don't know really English terms for his abilities, neither do I know the German terms. I just click buttons. This team is kind of interesting in the sense that there's, or at least I thought throughout the match, if there's a bad timing, that could potentially happen, in matter of how speeds align and how the attacks align, that you could potentially time out against this. For instance, whenever like the this roundish buff is dispelled, then you only can kill the troopers. So, and what happened here in the match, and you can kind of see, and I also had it in the past, it fell, you kind of killed short trooper, but he came back and then immediately like pop taunt again, crit avoidance and all that kind of good stuff. So I have the feeling maybe if you would take in like a double tank, like stormtrooper and potentially short trooper, this could maybe time out, I'm not sure. Depending on your stats as well on one part, of course. Mine is R8, but not really offense stacked, more tenacity and health stacked. And even health is not that good. So a pure tenacity build, so to say. And it takes time to ramp up, but I wonder if it could time out. I think in fives I've been close to a timeout, depending on what troopers have been there. So maybe food for thought. But as you can see, not really an issue. I managed to get them out and started them off the match with 68 banners. Then second match, I took Fridian again versus CLS and tried to play it better than the last round, which I'm not sure if I succeeded. It felt pretty wonky in some places, but this time I at least managed to get Fracture out before CLS did something. Last time I didn't use the lead special with Gideon, so CLS could get in the way. He gained turn meter when I did that, and after counter attacking, and so he went for my Thrawn, which then was risky, but this time I managed to do it right. So got out Fracture, and then you just want to spam specials with the other members of your team, which is of course Stormtrooper and Gideon, so that you reduce the turn meter whenever you use a special on Thrawn. But eventually, of course, he will gain the turn back, so then you can figure out what you can do. I usually swap it to either to Gideon if I know he has a turn meter removal available, or I swap it to Stormtrooper to just cleanse them. Here it gets pretty close. As you can see, my Gideon doesn't look too well, but then I can taunt, immediately lose the taunt, which is a bit funny. But this is like one of the maybe interesting bits about this team. You have a lot of control, but at the same time, it always feels it can spiral out of control pretty quickly. But then after some moves, it is back in full control. It's really interesting, at least I think. Yeah. So the idea is to just spam days, get armor shreds out, and ideally focus down either CLS or Chupio. I wonder if Chupio is the bigger threat in this team. I'm not sure. I think the last round I took him out first before I took out CLS, and here I took it the other way around. So both are dangerous. I mean, the whole team, you know, is a defense's team or defense's nightmare for a reason, because all of the characters just work like a clock. So I guess it doesn't really matter which one you took out first. But Chupio is potentially, with all the buff dispels, blind, and these things, a little bit more dangerous than CLS initially. Anyway, as you can see, I managed to make my way through after CLS was out. It's quite easy, and armor shreds do their work and help you to get the offense out. And I still lost 2 banners, which is a bit of a shame, because I knew I would need all banners. Versus this team, I didn't really wanted to play dicey, because I thought, okay, this might be an efficiency match, so I have to really work well in terms of banners. So I took in Starkiller, which just has the nice effect with Vader and Mace that you have a lot of ability blocks available, which helps against JK Elite, of course. So they can't do their Heroes Arise and can't turn the table on you. I guess it wouldn't be an issue anyway, but still, you know, ability blocks are nice, and yeah, as you can see, I didn't even get to the ultimate and got full banners. But maybe it was also overkill, you know. But yeah, better safe than sorry, right? So versus this team, I thought about taking Fridian here actually, but then I decided against it and thought, okay, maybe I just use a GL here, because even if I'm wrong and there are 5 GLs in the back, I will still have something to take them out. So, and I just decided to you see solo here. I linked the both strongest characters, in which is Cam and Anakin in that case, mainly to avoid be critted by them, which could turn out badly, I guess. And yeah, other than that, just wait to get to the ultimate. You relink whenever it's necessary to drop like debuffs, like healing immunity in this case, or buff immunity or whatever might be on you. So relink really helps you with that. But of course, Anakin just drops it back again. Then Cam is out of the picture, because as you know, it's a GL, and so they like the bonuses from Qui-Gon Jinn don't apply. But anyway, I still lost quite a bit of health, which is weird, because mine C is half stacked, but in the end I just finished for full quote-unquote banners. Not solo banners, but full team banners. Versus this team, it's quite a menace, and so I took in JKL and Hoda and Barris. Barris mainly just to lower a little bit like the damage I have to take in from CLS, not from CLS, from Han and Chewie, sorry. Because Barris just has this nice side effect with crits, so that was kind of nice. But at the same time, it's a little bit of a struggle too, because you have to juggle really priorities here. And as you can see, if there would have been like more birds on Bam in that case, or if my Barris wouldn't have been so health stacked like she is, she would have been taken out in this case. But wasn't the case, so I still had my full team. Just now I had to deal with damage immunity, which is like the other nice effect of this team, or like annoying effect depending on which side you're on, and makes it hard to take out. But I think the priorities are quite clear. Just take out Chewie, then you can stun the others and control them better. Then take out however you like it. And it's 56 banners, which was quite okay. And versus this Darth Revan, I just took in Kylo solo. I did want to try Troopers because they are not really modded well for that. The crit chance on my Veers is too low at the moment. Speed-wise, they are kind of okay. Sped them up a little. I think Dark Trooper still needs some work, but I think Kylo does the job as well. So I cleared the front wall. Was okay in terms of efficiency. This is the back wall. So as expected, there was no GL. So my opponent kept all GLs for offense, but there was like gas, interesting Vader comp, and Geonude as well. So versus gas, I didn't want to play around with it, so I just took in JMK Cat, which makes it so easy, like to take out gas, and then seconds later, also the other clones are gone. In this case, it's Arc and Echo. Not really a tough fight, but and very efficient. But so I just take the banners. You want to win in the end. Then versus this Inquisitor Vader comp, I just took in Troopers, which felt like overkill to be honest. But I hadn't any other place for them in this round, so I thought why not. And after 3 Dark Punches, the match is over for full banners. And then I went into like maybe the diciest match in the back wall against the good GL Newt comp, or maybe not the good. All of them are good, but I prefer this one because you have a lot of things to handle here. You have like the healing from B1, you have the extortion handed out by our friend Newt, you have damage immunity, a rocket, permadeath, and burn, all these nice things from Django. And so you really have to juggle around with what you attack first and who you take out. So in this case, I don't go for Newt. I prefer to go for B1 first, because otherwise he will make all your progress you make on one character, or he will deny this progress. He will flip it around and heal them up again. But at the same time, you also don't want to neglect the others while working on B1, because otherwise it just might take you out. So here I made a basic to finish off B1. Then Django was available for death, so I, because he had his 2 turns, so I took the chance, marked him, then took him out with GMY, and so I still had like 2 times to go through, 1 time to go through Newt, and also wanted to recover some banners, so I was a little bit like in the pickle, but I decided, just to do this, and lost 1 banner, which was okay. but still, the fight feels very dangerous. Then versus this Padme team, which is quite interesting, I took in the trio, which I kept for offense this time around. Interesting match because it felt very dicey, even though it doesn't look so dangerous on paper, the team. But Hunter with exposes and all these kind of things, it's kind of dangerous. Another thing that I have to add here is usually I play this differently. I just use Treya, Nihilus, and Thrawn, which I prefer in Freeze over Cyan, because with Thrawn you have Fracture, you have more control. It's easy to outspeed other teams, so if Padme is faster than your Treya, you just hand over the turn to her. You isolate her and then fracture Anakin or whoever is there. So I didn't have that available, so it felt dicey. And if AI would have been a little bit smarter, I think they would have taken out Nihilus quite easily before something happened. And so for me, it was just okay. I focus on Padme as much as I can, and then if I have the chance, I take out Hunter because he's the main threat in terms of damage, it felt like. And then Padme next, and so I could at least recover like a little bit of protection on Cyan when going at Wrecker. That's maybe the downside of Treya, that like a regular Treya team without Thrawn, you cannot really recover protection except Cyan. And with Thrawn on the team, it's so easy. You know, you stall it out, you swap turns, and then they recover protection. Used to be a full banner team back in the days. Not sure if Deus will ever come back. Anyway, 55 banners, which is 2 banners lost, which is still okay, I guess. Then I went to the north and used Rey solo versus the Stash team. I used the solo of Rey because of the permadeath with Whirlwind. And so you take out the tank, which is the annoying bit. Then what you essentially just do is basics to get your health back via health steal. But yeah, I think it's easy to see what I'm doing here. Downside here, of course, is once they shoot for your bonus protection, you might lose protection, and then they might again go into your health. So it's a little bit of a risky battle. Nonetheless, I don't think there's risk of being killed, but there's still risk of losing banners. But anyway, yeah, took the basic just to get full health again, and then 58 banners. Then versus the GG team, I was thinking about Bounty Hunters again, or Lord Vader, and I had no other use for him. So I felt like, okay, just take Lord Vader, why not? Let's see what happens. And the funny thing is, like for solos, Lord Vader might be the best GL in terms of banners, but because if you manage to finish with full health, you also get full protection banners. Just a side note. And other than that, it's a straightforward battle. It might be boring to watch that, you know, just see, okay, GL solo versus this and that. But as I said, like also in the last video, 3 versus 3 is best played when you play like in efficient, this might be the wrong word, but more like on ease mode, or not also on ease mode. It's just like on relieved mode, or you don't have to stress about off meta too much. You don't have to stress about clearing. Just take in what you have for the best teams on offense and clear, and then see what comes out of it. That at least is my philosophy for like this first week. It might change again, and I will go heavy defense at some point, because this is what I enjoy more. It's also more interesting to watch, I think, when you just see GLs versus teams and they take them out so easily. It might also be very boring. Then I went in versus this Bounty Hunter team with Sam. Was quite interesting. I took in Maul with Droidicar and Kendros, as you can see, and it was overkill, but also not. It was the only team that I had that could outspeed those. But at the same time, I thought maybe I should have taken Watt and giving like tank tech to Maul, then I would have finished with full banners. But yeah, anyway, it was quite an easy battle. Then versus this team, which is not to underestimate, I think generally Quill and IG make a great duo in freeze, and it almost doesn't matter who you take as the third. You can pair them with Nest, you can pair them with L3, you can pair them with BAM, of course, or others. And I like the idea of using them with Boba, because he himself can be very dangerous if you ignore him for too long. But yeah, I still have JML available, and you can see it's not really big of a deal. Just spam the lead ability to regain banners as well, like protection in this case. You control the team by ability blocks, TM removal, and TM gain on your side, and then you're basically through. And then this was the last match on the ground, this Rex combo, and I didn't want to use Qui-Gon Jinn. I guess it would also have worked, but I knew it would have been bad banners potentially. So I used Padme with Snips and Anakin, so no Qui-Gon Jinn this time on offense. And I used them because once Echo has done his thing, just Padme comes in, heals up again, clears all the debuffs, and then it's quite an easy match. Not full banners, not even good banners, like 54, but still good enough. And this was the situation after we both cleared everything. I was 3 banners behind. As you can see, my opponent played very efficient. And so it came down to ships. And yeah, my opponent set Executor, so I went in like, yeah, risky you can say, but maybe or not, with Finalizer. So what you do is just like put Hunted on Houndstooth so it doesn't gain turn meter. Then you do your thing on what's his face, RC, Razor Crest. Then they do their thing. You hope you don't die with your Echelon. And then you put ability block on Houndstooth with the shuttle, and then you just go out on Xander Blood with the Finalizer. And then for the first reinforcement, I usually call in the Special Forces, especially when there's target lock, then and the turn meter is above 50% of Houndstooth, then you can get like ability block and stun, which is ideal. Then Slave 1 comes in. If it doesn't land ability block on shuttle, then everything is fine. Then you can ability block Slave 1, take it out the next turn or the next 2 turns. And now you have the situation that you can push turn meter. And here you can decide, I go in on Houndstooth for no reason really. Then put in target lock with the basic from Echelon, which is great. Of course, it's dispelled, but doesn't really matter in that case because I call in Ebon Hawk, get evasion down, can land buff immunity, and then can take out Bosk. Then we have IG 2000 coming in, but I can make a call to assist and stun immediately. Call to assist from Special Forces on Silencer, and then I take it out. And it's looking pretty good, just like RC left. I still haven't lost a ship and was quite sure I would win this match. The question is how many banners I would get, because you have to take out RC twice. And yeah, a little bit missing here in terms of banners, and then comes the AoE, steals a lot of banners again, protection and health wise, and so I was like, but anyway, I could finish and got 67 banners. I think the best I got here was 70 banners in the past. Yep, then versus the Executrix, I used Negotiator, which, yeah, I wasn't really sure if this is overkill or not. It's just like felt appropriate. And I take out the bomber first because it's annoying with all the bombs and the days, and then I focused on the other ships, and yeah, then I was big hit from 5s, and the match was already over, which was really weird. 73 banners, but anyway. And then I played game Chimera with my Executor, and here there was a bit of a, yeah, it's an interesting observation I had recently, like in all the matches I had against this. Here my opponent set himself up for 50% of failure, so to say, because this match is actually very easy when TIE Interceptor doesn't come in. But if you place EP Shuttle and TIE Interceptor as the reinforcements, there is a coin flip which comes out first. Whereas if you don't place EP and do EP in the starting lineup, or place him in the starting lineup, TIE Interceptor will always come first. So in this case, there was a 50% chance to kind of make it easy for me, which I luckily got. And so they only came in with shuttle, and then it's very easy to take out the team because interceptor makes it much more dangerous. Yeah, unfortunately I still misplayed it and I didn't heal up. But yeah, 70 banners was okay. So I had 2070 banners after I finished my offensive run, and then I waited for my opponent to make a move. And yeah, it came down to ships, and as you can see, luckily I got the win. My opponent, I'm not sure how he played it because my fleet defense isn't the strongest, but I guess it was in the end. I think it was my camera that cost him the match because it took too many banners from him, and so yeah, was a great fun match, but also intense match, very stressful match because you had to play efficiency, but this time it went well for me. When we see what will be the outcome in the next round. Thanks for watching. See you then. Bye.